First forecast brought to you by Stored at Home, rent-to-own portable buildings. We did get a little bit of rain out there today, and I mean a little bit. 7/100ths of an inch of rain fell earlier with a little quick shower and thunderstorm that moved through. But over the next 24 hours, probably remaining pretty isolated. We do see at least a chance of rain over the next 48 hours. But really what we're going to be watching very closely is the Gulf of Mexico. The National Hurricane Center now has a 60% chance of either subtropical or tropical development as we go throughout the weekend. Whether or not that system makes it here, we're going to have to be keeping a very close eye on. But overnight tonight, nearly 70 degrees with all the humidity out there. A thunderstorm in a few spots. Most of us are going to remain dry. We'll do a rinse and repeat for the day tomorrow. Of course, I'll have details about that and the tropics coming up just a few minutes. Your ABC 31 News starts right now.
Welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. Year after year and one community cleanup day after another, litter in the Alexandria area is still a problem. ABC 31's Joanna Phillips has the dirty details in our big story tonight.
We see it more than we should.
Bottles, glass, paper, plastic. In ditches, on the side of the road, and even scattered throughout neighborhoods.
In 2016, over 550,000 pounds of trash was picked up throughout Rapides Parish. One area of concentration is the Martin Park community.
South Alexandria Revitalization Organization sponsored on last weekend a community cleanup, which we collected 4,028 pounds of garbage and 6 tons of debris. One of the things that's real important here in the Martin Park area is organization. We're getting ready for another cleanup, but one of the things that's mindful that we don't want people to do from Mansour Street, from Lisa Street to Oran Street is walk through this community, walk through this neighborhood, and don't trash it.
And despite inmate road crews and community cleanup days clearing litter from the area, it doesn't seem to be getting any better.
Individuals are walking to the respective restaurants on MacArthur Drive. They drop litter, they drop trash day to day. After it's cleaned up by city workers, after it's picked up by the litter court, after it's picked up by members of the Rapides Parish Sheriff's Office. And I mean, it's unbelievable what's taking place in these communities, these neighborhoods, about people just walking through the neighborhood just trashing it.
There are even signs up in neighborhoods telling citizens to not litter or dump in the area by police order. Some even state possible fines for littering, which in Louisiana could be up to $1,000 and time spent in litter court, picking up trash as a court order.
Not just in this part of our city, but all over the city, people are throwing out trash, they're throwing out litter, and it has to stop.
Another community cleanup day will take place on June 2nd as efforts continue to clean up Alexandria. Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
Alexandria police arrest 3 and search for a 4th suspect in the beating and stabbing of a man near Bolton Avenue and Monroe a week ago. The arrest stood at 28-year-old Christopher Thompson, 54-year-old Stanley White, and 17-year-old Shakoria Rusaw, all of Alexandria. Police say the 4th suspect left with a weapon used to stab the victim in the mouth. That fight apparently started because one of the suspects is related to the victim's girlfriend. The suspects are all charged with battery. 2 teens are again arrested for cruelty and theft of horses. Brand Commission authorities accuse the 16-year-olds of taking those livestock. The horses, valued at $5,000 each, were taken from Grapevine Road near Opelousas. One horse had to be put down because he was injured after that theft. Rapides deputies say they've solved a home invasion and theft case, arresting a suspect already in custody on other charges. He's 31-year-old Glenn Jared McCoy of Alexandria. He's charged for the April 24th incident on Sherry Street off Highway 1 South, where he allegedly held 2 victims at gunpoint while he took electronics and money. He's charged with a long list of crimes, including armed robbery and vehicle burglary. Each year in the U.S., more than 34,000 people commit suicide. But there are places people can turn if they're in a crisis. Here's ABC 31's Shar Thomas.
It's an internal battle that many people face every day that can result in their loved ones grieving. Suicide is a common cause of death in the United States, and it goes untalked about. In the past 2 weeks, on 2 different occasions, 2 Alexandria men committed suicide.
Days ago, Pineville had a suicide over there, and this is the most recent one that I'm familiar with. The Pineville Police Department had stopped this vehicle, and when the driver got out, he got out shooting. And some gunshots was exchanged, but this guy ultimately wound up committing suicide. Now, the reason why, I don't know. He may have thought that he shot an officer, or he may have been a suspect in another crime. We don't know that.
But we do know serious depression, alcohol, or substance abuse can trigger suicide. One thing to look out for is change in one's behavior. Most people who take their own lives exhibit one or more warning signs, either through what they say or what they do. If you know someone who is suicidal, urge them to get help from their doctor or the emergency room, or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifetime at 1-800-273-8255. It is available 24/7. Shar Thomas, ABC 31 News.
Governor John Bel Edwards' budget man leads off the 9th special session in a hearing before Ways and Means, where all tax bills must start. Jay Darden repeated the familiar numbers, a $30 billion budget short by nearly $650 million. That includes funding shortfalls for TOPS, free tuition program for higher ed, the funding for private public hospitals to replace those charity facilities shut down by the previous governor, and money to expand Medicaid to help the poor and disabled. The lawmakers are in session for 2 weeks to create a budget for the new fiscal year, starting July 1st. Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores have more than 450 locations, including their new location on I-49 and Rapid Station in Boise. Earlier today, the Chamber of Commerce welcomed them with a ribbon cutting. We also learned that more than 40 employees were hired in the process of establishing the Travel Stop. LSU of Alexandria is continuing to work on expansion. The university is looking to add 2 new degree programs, bachelor's degrees in accounting and kinesiology. The proposal for the new degrees went before the Louisiana Board of Regents today for consideration. Pineville High graduate Alyssa Bradford is the recipient of a $1,000 scholarship from her credit union. She's a member of Pelican State Credit Union in Pineville and is one of 13 college-bound students to receive this award. She made the honor roll all 4 years and is a member of the Key Club. Starting Monday, the Alexandria Museum of Art will offer free admission to military personnel and their families for the summer. The museum is collaborating with the National Endowment for the Arts, Blue Star Families, and the Department of Defense. During the school year and the holidays, people are very eager to donate to the food bank, and just because school goes on break doesn't mean the need takes a summer vacation.
The need increases during the summer months. We talk all the time about breakfast and lunch at schools, about the kids that receive free and reduced breakfast and lunch at schools. Well, now that we're at the end of the school year, those kids are home all day. And so, these families where it's a struggle to feed kids an evening meal in the weekends are now having breakfast and lunch as well. So we do see an increase during the summer. At the end of the summer, we still see some of those numbers a little bit higher because when it's back to school time, then we have the cost of getting ready to go back to school in uniform. We want to encourage people and remind them that there still is a great need during the summer. There's lots of opportunities to volunteer, to donate, to host food drives.
You can drop off donations to the Food Bank of Central Louisiana. And if you want to learn more about volunteer opportunities or about the food bank's work, you can visit their website, call, or just stop by.
When temperatures rise, some don't always have the luxury of turning on a thermostat. That's why KLAX TV and area businesses have teamed up to form the Spring Fan Drive for the elderly. You can help by dropping off a van at a location near you. Vans will be collected and distributed by each parish's Council on Aging provider. Remember, keeping cool isn't something that comes easy for everyone. Help us to bring some relief from the summer heat to those less fortunate.
High temperatures out there today across the state. Well, they were warm. If you were down around Lafayette, looking at 94 today. We got to 92 here locally. Everyone else was either around the 90-degree mark or just above it, so it was very, very warm, and our humidity didn't do us any favors either. Those dew points ranging from upper 60s to lower 70s, making it feel like nearly triple digits at times today. And tomorrow, we got more of the same on the way. Humid conditions spread all across the southeast. Widespread thunderstorms, better chance for it off to our east tomorrow. Just isolated, very spotty thunderstorms for the day tomorrow here locally, but can't rule out seeing at least a chance of a thunderstorm or two. And of course, across the area, we're just looking at a few showers and thunderstorms out there today. So really not a whole lot as far as the coverage goes. But that hour-by-hour forecast, once again, going to be feeling like 100 to 102 as we get to about the 2 o'clock hour. And then from that point forward, we'll either see a chance at a thunderstorm or a shower rolling on through, with the dew points hanging out from 70 all the way up to 73. Yeah, that's just downright nasty, oppressive, steamy, uncomfortable air outside. It's that instant sweat when you step out when your dew points are that high, and we're going to continue to have that over the next couple of days. Future radar showing pretty good coverage for what our thunderstorm activity looked like today. As we go to about 3 o'clock for the day tomorrow, you notice the showers and thunderstorms popping up off to our east and across the area. Once again, as we go into the overnight hours, they'll start to die out once again as we get into Friday. About noontime, yeah, you see them popping up. So kind of a rinse and repeat forecast here where we have the same thing going on just about every day. Now, over the weekend, we mentioned the heavy rain coming to the Gulf Coast. We got an area of low pressure out there, and now the National Hurricane Center has it at about a 60% chance of developing once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, this is likely going to develop into a subtropical system, which means it will share both characteristics of a non-tropical system and a tropical system. Either way, the wind is not going to be an issue here. It's going to be rain, and most of the rain is going to be on the east side of this system. That means if it goes toward Florida, Florida's going to have a lot of rain. If it heads toward us, that's the only way that we really get a whole bunch of rain out of this, and we've even backed off of the totals from yesterday. You notice around Hattiesburg and New Orleans, 5+ inches looks still likely, but because of a little further east track as of today, only about 1 to 3 inches of rain here. So we're keeping a close eye on this. If the track changes, so will the rainfall totals, so that we'll keep you up to date on that over the next couple of days. Either way, rain looks like it's going to be moving in as we head into the weekend, and temperatures holding on to the lower 90s. Scott?
All right, thank you, Ross. Could the way you get to work save your life? Kenneth Moten explains how.
Something you do twice a day, getting to and from work, can make a big difference to your risk of death. People with an active commute, walking or cycling instead of driving, could see their relative risk of developing vascular heart disease or stroke drop by 11%, and their relative risk of dying from these diseases lowered by 30%. A new study suggests a new commute could help with the difficult fact. Much of the U.S. population lives with activity levels that are very low. Life gets in the way of activity. Limited time, kids, work. Researchers in the UK looked at about 360,000 people who use alternatives to the car, following their health for an average of 7 years. 2/3 of commuters relied exclusively on the car to travel to work. More active commuters, walkers and bikers, in addition to that 30% lower risk of fatal heart disease, did even better if their transportation outside of work was active too. That went along with a 43% lower risk. Even for people who didn't have jobs, more active patterns of travel were associated with an 8% lower risk of all-cause mortality. Moral of the study, get moving, keep living.
Medical examiner.
Detective, homicide.
I can't write you a prescription.
These are my date clips.
Ding.
Then I had to chase this guy all the way down to Fenway.
We should do this again sometime.
Rizzoli and Isles, a perfect match.
Weekends at 11 on KLAX TV.
Good evening and welcome back to KLAX ABC31 Sports. I'm Zach Seminar. It was a special afternoon at Pineville High School as a new era was born for the school's softball program. PHS held a press conference to introduce their new softball head coach, Allison Fry. Fry will lead the Pineville Rebels softball team at the beginning of the spring 2019 season. Fry is a Pineville High School graduate where she also played softball as a standout infielder before moving on to play at Louisiana College.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
one doctor brings health right to your home. Every day is a new chance for change, and everyone can start right now.
Make an appointment with Dr. Oz. Check in for your daily checkup.
When a case seems unsolvable, they see the incredible. Murder, motive, secrets. Bones Weekends.
Watch Bones weekends on KLAX ABC 31.